Hello, and welcome to Talk Box Score. The DCU has been under fire for the last couple of weeks because of the uncertainty of the ever-changing timeline with the future projects in the DCU, along with Supergirl not really hitting the palates of fans how they wanted. So that's what we'll kind of be discussing in today's video, is kind of the direction of the DCU and where James Gunn is going, and what he wants to do with it, and how there could be some problems. So, James Gunn, in my eyes, is a great director, and I trust him with this franchise. He cares about the characters and their stories. He has a real vision of how he wants to portray them and tell them. However, the start of the DCU has not gone exactly according to plan in terms of project release order, and my personal and other people's ideas of how to slate the franchise. We started the DCU with an animated TV show, Creature Commandos. This is already a choice, to say the least, but it was fine, all right? It was a good show. Can't be too mad at that. And James Gunn has plans to bring these characters into live action and further develop their stories in the DCU. However, why not just start with the Superman film that came out in July of 2025? We've learned over the years that James loves to do some out there things in his movies. Now with DC, we're seeing his personal choices of trying to kind of have too much fun and get too cute with things. When in reality, he should have just started with Superman, probably then made a Batman film, maybe even Wonder Woman. Instead, he follows up a great Superman with a somewhat disappointing Supergirl. Supergirl film, I should say. Supergirl's fine. In my eyes, it was not a bad choice, but like I said, probably should have been Batman or Wonder Woman. I do think Supergirl works here too, but it just did not hit quite right. He gave Craig Gillespie the keys to the movie as director, and he didn't make a bad movie. Although you might think that if you read some reviews online, people were very displeased, to say the least. This movie was pretty much the epitome of like a 7 out of 10 solid movie. It is very basic and bland. It did have some fun and some heart in the film. Unfortunately, though, it was a bit dull. Had some cringy moments, but it was not bad how most reviews sounded. And yes, Lobo was great. Now for the question. Where after this? Lanterns is releasing in August. Man of Tomorrow, set to release next year in July, I believe, is going to have a ton of other superheroes in it, along with a ton of others rumored, including Wonder Woman Orona, rumored to be Wonder Woman, which I think would be a great choice to include her in the second Superman film, really get her foot in the door. But now we're starting to kind of face the challenge of incorporating so many heroes without the movie kind of feeling cluttered or oversaturated. But when she is introduced, it can immediately make this universe feel more connected and have a bigger personality, for lack of a better word. Like we kind of just need this universe to really feel connected and established before, we go off doing these other things like I'm about to talk about. Batman should also be fast tracked, probably. I would agree with also trying to get the Flash in there. Probably not in Man of Tomorrow, but just along with Batman, trying to, really get them in the universe immediately. Whether it's through a solo movie, for the Flash we're talking about here, a solo movie or a TV show, maybe in the Jimmy Olsen show with Gorilla Grodd, as, he is a big villain of the Flash. This universe needs its main heroes to feel like DC, and it needs to have its biggest heroes on the big screen and have them together. I understand we're only a year or two into the DCU, but trying out these other projects before your universe is established and has a feeling is not the best choice to me. And I think other people agree with this, especially when people like The Flash and Wonder Woman have been done kind of poorly in the past, bad movies and never-ending Snyderverse, where you end up somewhat uninterested in the characters because we knew all the drama behind the scenes and just everything going on there. And we also knew that it was just coming to an end. So hopefully James is introducing a good amount of staple DC characters in Man of Tomorrow, and maybe that movie will be a big stepping stone towards the bigger bad of the DCU. So we can really get this thing rolling, and trying to make it feel like. I mean, James has the blueprint in front of him. He worked at Marvel for, I don't know, over a decade probably, and so he knows how a universe should be successful and how it should be mapped out. So introduce Martian Manhunter, which I believe is confirmed to be in Man of Tomorrow. Get Wonder Woman in there, in the Flash, not in Man of Tomorrow, probably not. And then we can branch off into these passion projects, which I really love and think have an immense amount of potential, but it's not where the main focus should be at the end of the day. Like I said in the past, I trust James Gunn, and people are overreacting to a decent movie, which is Supergirl, and they're making out to be awful, and as if this movie will just destroy the universe. No, that won't happen. But if there were a few more projects that don't hit, especially if they're in a row, people will lose interest. They will forget about the DCU, and it won't be easy to come back from. So I think you need to get your Batman and Wonder Woman in there, get your Trinity there before these other fun projects. And yeah, I mean, I really want this universe to succeed, and through comics and television and movies, DC has kind of won over the last few years, or however long you want to say, in comics, but TV and movies, Marvel has obviously been the mainstay in that kind of universe, the superhero universe, for well over a decade now. And so it's just, DC deserves better, and I trust James Gunn, like I said, and hopefully this all works out for him. So with that being said, though, let me know what you think in the comments, and if you enjoyed and want more videos like this, please let me know, and hit that like and subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Until next time.